Buenos dias, breakfast with the king, day Dubs, day 20 out of 366, doing the today with the Lord. Praise God for the leap year. Familia, Kimmy Chang's, Henryville, Mondo, EJ, D-Hen, Clay, everybody. I can't thank you enough for the accountability. Picked up in chapter 8 of Matthew, left off in chapter 7. And just to reiterate, that's the Sermon on the Mount. I just read 3 chapters of red letter language, right? So red letter in the Bible is all of the words that Jesus spoke. They're quotes of Jesus. And it's important to me as I'm reading today because I'm now watching these words come into fruition in chapter 8. And so it starts with, he comes off the mountainside from that speech, that talk, and a large crowd follows him. And then a man with leprosy comes and says, Jesus, Lord, if you are willing, heal my hand, heal my leprosy. And it says, Jesus said, I am willing, be clean. And immediately his leprosy was gone. And he moseys on over to Capernaum. And in Capernaum, there's a centurion. And the centurion is asking Jesus to heal his servant. What's interesting is the centurion was not considered a believer. He was not an Israelite or a Jew, for lack of better words. He was a Gentile. He had no bearing of this God. He had no understanding of who God was other than what he heard and what he saw. And so he came to put his faith he had faith in his heart. And what got me was this. He said, Lord, my servant at home is paralyzed and in terrible suffering. Please come heal him. Jesus said to him, I will go and heal him. The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. He wanted an Amazon delivery for healing, basically, right? And it says, when Jesus heard this, he was astonished and said to those following him, I tell you the truth, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. And he told the centurion, go, it will be done. And his servant was healed. What got me there was, man, I want to have a faith that astonishes and astounds Jesus. I want to stand on his word so much so that he says, oh my goodness, look at my man Lee. And we mosey on down, right? And he walks in through town and he heals many with diseases again. He heals all the sick, it says. And a man asks him, says, Lord, teacher, I will follow you. And Jesus tells him, it doesn't cost you everything to follow me. He says, the quote that he has here is, foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. It'll cost you everything, right? And clearly that man had maybe not enough faith. And then we see his words come into fruition again. He gets into a boat with his disciples, and they're getting ready to cross the lake. And without warning, a furious storm comes. The winds blow, the rain falls, the streams rise. Remember that from yesterday? And so the disciples, and Jesus is sleeping, by the way, during this time. So the disciples, when they woke him up, they're saying, Lord, save us, we're going to drown. He replied, you have little faith. Why are you so afraid? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. Excuse me. He then gets out the boat and he arrives to the other side of the region, the other side of Capernaum. When he gets out, these 2 guys are possessed by demons and they are running amok. It says that they were so violent, no one could pass the way that they were standing. They were beating everybody up, little 2 thugs, right? And when the light shows up, here's what happens. The demons inside of these 2 guys yell out, have you come here to torture us before the appointed time? They knew that their time was minimal, temporary. And when the light came, the darkness was exposed. He said to them, go. So they came out. He put them into some pigs, right? And the pigs go off off the cliff and they drown. And the herdsmen who had these pigs and everyone in the town who saw this happen, they run back to tell everybody else. And everyone else in the town, they all come out. And they all plead with Jesus to leave. He was too much Jesus for them. And my mind goes through a lot of different thoughts, but I'll tell you this. What it lands on is there are multiple times in our lives where we're going to love like Jesus and be shunned for it. And that's okay. It doesn't say that Jesus went in and said, who you think you are? I'm Jesus, or anything like that. He just moseyed on his way. And we'll see what he does next in the next chapter. Breakfast with the King. Day Dub at a 366. The Green Mushroom Year. I love y'all. God bless.